Welcome back to X4, and I couldn't help it. I switched across to the beta branch. I could not help it. I saw the beta patch that was coming and decided, nope, I absolutely have to have that. There are just so many things in it. So briefly a guide. First of all, if you decide to use the beta branch, first of all, back up your saves. Second of all, back up your saves. In fact, the only way to access the beta branch is by typing in a code. I backed up my saves. So let me just double check that code, make sure it's actually accurate. 1 second. Yeah, so it's I backed up my saves with all capitals, so capital I, capital B, capital U, capital M, and capital S on each of the words, and it's all a single word in the Steam drop down for betas. Now, why is it so good? Well, first of all, it kicks off the war, which is, well, I'm sure we'll find out, but that's been a complaint for people who are playing ahead of where I am. Second of all, things like Nividium, which is an ore that we have starting to be mined, or at least I haven't started it yet, but let's change across miner 1 and 2 to, well, let's see. Let's take 3 and 4 and we'll change their behavior. So information, behavior, and we'll see how good this is. So auto mine, they're currently set to silicon. I'm going to add Nividium and remove silicon. And then that should be fine. And we'll do the same thing with miner 4, information, and add Nividium. This is part of the patch notes, and remove silicon. That should be fine. And then we'll just probably rename them as well. That's probably a good idea. Are you doing anything just yet? Let me just double check. Has that behavior taken? Auto mine, executing, and Nividium. Fair enough. So we can just rename them in the information tab. M&R 4 Nividium. I'll do the other one off camera. That's fine. It's number 3. I just have to remember that. And we'll see how well they actually do that particular thing. Okay, back to the patch notes then. So improved accuracy of turrets and gimbaled weapons, so they will no longer miss quite as much. Increased skill gain profile for NPCs, so they'll gain skills faster, I would assume. Improved station traders to sell products at least the price set at the station, so lots of sale improvements there. In fact, there are more options for selling illegal wares. There are, well, all kinds of things in here. It is a huge list of changes. And things like fix auto miners, not selling the resources they gather, and fix them from just dropping some of the cargo in space, which seems to happen as well. And yeah, it goes on and on and on, and it's so much that I probably would recommend, if you've backed up your saves, give it a try. Anyway, today's episode, aside from me, actually, let me just change that now. Information, M&R 3, Nividium. Today's episode, I wanted to cover station building a little bit more because I did get a lot of questions from last episode. So it is less of a fighting sort of missioning sort of episode as a sort of instructional episode. So first of all, I'm just going to get up with Control D. Thanks very much for someone reminding me that you have that shortcut, and then I'm going to teleport across to our friendly representative and whichever office they've decided to move to this time. So we're going to go into the Argon Wharf, but you can go into any of the wharfs really, as long as you've got some reputation with the person. There we go, and should be teleporting. Here we are. And now if we head into the representative's office, which door will it be this time? Both the war room and the representative office, they just keep randomizing. Yep, number 1. Okay, it was number 3 last time I came. Alright, so if we talk to them and press 2, I want to buy stuff. The whole list of different blueprints, modules, equipments, etc. But modules is the one we actually want. And in here, we looked at docks originally. However, there's a lot more in here. Now, you can sort of steal this by scanning those particular these particular modules out in space. For example, I just got a water production one by scanning it out in space. So is there a water production in here? It probably disappeared because I've grabbed it, or it's not around. In any case, that turns ice into water, as you might imagine. It's probably just a big heater for as much as that is concerned. However, I wanted to cover the blueprints available in here and what we might want to do with them. So, to take a specific example, let's say we want to produce the food rations that one of my bases is going to be set up for. We're going to want to input ice, and that's going to come in from miners. So we'll be able to select a miner, right-click on the station, and say mine for this station. It'll then go and get whatever resources that station needs. But from the ice, we'll need to contain it somewhere, first of all. So we'll need a storage module. So in here, storage modules, you'll see we have solid storage, we have liquid storage. I've already bought the small solid storage, so we don't really have that anymore. And the liquid storage, do I actually have enough? I do have enough. So I'm going to select that and buy it.
Good luck out there.
There we go. So we now have both solid storage and liquid storage, and by default you get container storage. Container storage seems to be for the finished goods, I think, or at least the output. So, you know, it's worthwhile having, but, you know, you're going to need some other bits and pieces. Then you're going to need the production modules. You're going to need the homes for the workers and whatever dock structure you actually want. Some of them, there are also different miscellaneous stuff in here that might be worthwhile looking at. For number one, 1,000,000, you get the administrative center. Now that lets you claim the entire sector as your own if it is unclaimed. I'm not sure what the benefits are of it yet, but it certainly will change the color of the sector, and it'll say, hey, I own this one entirely, which may come into benefit when the war kicks off, or at least when the war kicks off in my particular game. And then, of course, there are all the production modules that you want to make final products with. So, to give you an example, food ration production. So we'd need that to make food rations. It's nearly 2 million, so we can't buy it just yet. So our station is going to be built up slowly. What are they all doing outside the window? There's a queue out there, and oh no, now there's an accident. Anyway, sorry, that was just me getting distracted. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward. So in the case of food rations, we're going to want ice to water. Water is going to be going into the meat production, it's going to go into the wheat production, and it's going to go into the spice production. So each of those are like multi-million production modules. So if we can scan for them, it would be much better than buying them as far as cost is concerned. And then we'd combine all of those into the food rations. And in any case, if we were missing storage at any particular point, we'll need to add storage modules to the station as well. So far, however, if I just look at my station, the meat factory, and information, I want plan build. So here, in fact, I think I'm going to just take this top module. It's not been started to production yet, so I can just remove it. And I'm going to actually confirm that just so that that's done, because I may want to have other things done there first. I don't want to necessarily put that module in that place. So you'll see we've got a container storage right here. So whatever we build, that container storage can hold it. However, on the other side, what we might want to do, you see we've got production modules now, so we could put a production module down, but we're going to need storage for solids at least. And then if we rotate that, we should be able to snap it into place. So we can now store solids, and we may well need liquids. I would assume we'd need it for ice at least. So why don't we just grab one of those as well, rotate it, and we could snap it to the dock itself like that. So we could have the storage all around the dock, roleplay wise, you know, so that it can be loaded. That seems to be nice and straightforward. So we then confirm those and just see how horrible this is to fund. Because I don't have a lot of money right now. So it needs about 1 million to be able to fund all of those. That's not too bad, actually. I don't have a great deal right now. So I'm going to just, confirm, and we'll come back once I've got a little bit more money. First of all, I want to see how that Nividium ore mining goes as far as how much money we make. One other point, please look in the description below the video. There is a user on Reddit called, what are they called again? Let me just check, hang on. They're called Pyro Chillarch, or Chillarch, and they did a huge amount of work creating a diagram of the entire economy. So if you want to know what modules to build for certain stations, you can track it back from the module all the way back to the starting ingredients and the intermediate stuff that you need. So I will post a link to it down below, but again, that user on Reddit is Pyro Chillarch. Okay, very, very good work to that guy or girl. All right, so moving on, we've now got to have a look at what's going on. I'm going to check the Nividium. I keep saying Nvidia. I mean, if they make graphics cards, cool, but let's just assume it's all for now. Okay, and our first batch of Nividium is sold. Let's take a look. So escape and into player information, into logbook on the left-hand side. Here it is. We sold a full amount, or full hold full of Nividium for 287,000. That compares to the same for silicon, selling for 56,000. So yeah, I guess you can probably guess what I'm going to be doing with my miners right now. These miners are just going to change. We're just going to set the behavior to add some more and less stuff for each one of them. Fair enough. Oh, and I've just passed the point at which I need to turn around. Because I'm heading back up towards the sort of systems where the war missions are. I want to see if those dastardly Xenon are kicking off, or if they're still quite idle. Do remember, if you've already gone pretty far into the game, it may take a while for the economy to recover to actually start the war up. So that is sort of slight concern. But I've not been that far into the game as of these, unlike people who've rushed ahead a huge amount. Alright? Developers are seemingly working very, very hard indeed to actually get this, all done. So I'm very happy with them so far. In we go to the highway. And let me just sort out the other couple of those miners. Let's just change you. These are all the argon miners, by the way. The other ones are further down. So we can just change their behavior. Add wares. Nividium. Remove this, and that's done. Okay, so I may well change this as well. I'm not sure if the actual price or the volume of goods, either quantity of goods, is the thing that affects the reputation. But our reputation with Argon is already up to, we can just go to our player information and look at factions. It's already up to plus 16 anyway, so yeah, and plus 10 with Antigone Republic. Yeah, Antigone Republic. Minus 30 with the Ka'ak, and the Ministry of Finance were at plus 5, Scale Pact Taladi is plus 2, so we are getting a little bit of reputation with the Taladi, not so much with the Paranid just yet. And here we are, dock is just completing, well, as container storage, sorry, it's just completing on our HQ. That should be pretty much done now, I would have thought. Let's just exit the menu, go back in. Oh no, it says 100%, good. So we now have hopefully everything we need. There's no red on this logical station overview now. It says we can actually produce energy cells. We're just short of workforce to do it, I think. Time until next shift is 33 minutes away, but so we only have 10 workers, and the optimal number will be 260. And they'll consume some food and nostrop oil. So what I also did then in the properties screen is the auto traders that were down here at the bottom. I chose one for each, and basically click them, right-click the station, and then chose them to trade for that station. You'll notice I've got this Elite Vanguard here. In fact, I want to go to the meat factory. So let's just tell you to dock at the meat factory, and that should happen there. Yep, it's starting to take off. And then we can just close that. The reason why is the meat factory will also need a manager, just like Greyhome will, and yeah, we do actually want to use a ship to get some crew there. Otherwise, I've set up 4 Nividium miners in and around Argon Prime. I've got 4 in and around Paranid space, and we may well do the same thing for Taladi. Mainly, not so much that we need the money, but mainly that we'll get the reputation for it. So the third set, we could probably put somewhere in Taladi space. So is that the Taladi Wharf? Yeah, in Profit Center Alpha. We could go and buy some ships there. In fact, let's just do that now. Let's see what the Taladi ships look like. Buy ships. We're going to go for size medium. And we have the Manarina, which is the Vanguard Miner. And let's have a look at that. Okay, that's remarkably utilitarian. I really think I prefer the Paranid, but I suppose it has some sort of appeal. Let's we have no presets, of course, because I haven't bought anything from this race before, so we'll just go through quickly. Choose the lowest engines, the lowest thrusters, Shield generators are fine with the smallest ones. Weapons, we don't mind that much, but we're going to set the mining drills. Mining drill 1, that is. And the turrets, oh, that's interesting. You can have mining turrets. Fair enough. Docking software, long range 1, basic. Remove all the consumables. And crew, we'll leave 1 marine on each one, just so that if they want to, and 1 service crew, just in case they need to board anything or there's an abandoned ship, we can get them to board it instead of doing anything else. And we'll save the loadout as Taladi Mineral Miner. Okay, that's 416. So we're going to save that as a new, add it to the shopping list, and we're actually going to buy, how many can we buy? Let's buy 4. Yeah, I can afford it. So let's buy all 4 at once. And they're going to start construction. They're going to take 2 minutes to be constructed, but then I'll set them up identically. There's another cluster of Nividium miners. We've got a 1.2 million due from the trades of the Nividium miners, and we've already got 700,000, so we're already back over 2 million. And that should power our ability to make new stations and new ships. So I'm quite happy with that update in the beta patch. In any case, let's have a look back at Greyhome. So saying the production cycle will finish in 20 seconds, we'll see whether that's actually going to be helpful with the existing just 10 workforce, or if that is actually not going to really do anything. Product per hour is energy cells 12,000. So we'll see, shall we? 6 seconds, 5. Probably going to be a disappointment. Never mind. But our storage levels are, we have got container storage for this, I think. Well, we'll see. Okay, so that's finished, and that production cycle is started again. Have we got anything? We've got 200, so it is actually working, just not particularly fast. Okay, so we've got container storage for it. Our workforce is still only 10. I've also set it to replenish trade drones and defense drones and repair drones automatically, as and when it can, and given the station account some money to do that. Fair enough. And then hopefully our trader, let's have a look on the property own menu. Let's have a look. Greyhome. Are you actually doing anything right now? It looks like you're buying. Let's have a look at information and behavior. Well, it can actually buy energy cells. So if we just... Oh, medical supplies and Nostrop oil are the food source for the workforce. So it's already been configured by the game. I'm quite happy about that. And it is actually executing a trade. So that should be set up fine as well. Hopefully it should take off and actually trade with someone, but we'll see how far that actually gets in actuality later. Meat Factory, let's take a look at how you're doing. So go into plan build, and it's going to need, well, we've got everything we actually, oh, well, maybe a bit more we need. Yeah, let's just give it a bit more money. There we go. It's got all the money it needs now to complete, or at least the storage section, before we start to add something else like, for the structural sections, and then the water. It's probably going to be first instead of meat, because we're going to need to convert ice to water, and then water into meat and wheat and the rest. And that's where all of this money we're getting right now from Nividium is going to be probably spent. It'll be easier just to buy the modules. There are a couple of million each, and that's fairly straightforward at the moment. So we need 1 wheat production module. We need the meat, which we've already got. We just need to build it. And we need a spice production module, and then that may have to be fed by something else, but I'll need to check the diagram, just like all of you, to see where we actually put these. So I guess we also want a construction section of some kind. Well, there's a cross section, but if I just put this sort of module here and then across, hopefully we will get enough space to be able to deploy other things. So production modules then, we're going to need a water module, and will you only fit on top of these things? Seems like you will directly attach to the top but nowhere else. And will you not let me move you now? Water module? Yeah, they've only got green lines to the top. It looks only going 1 location. So, I'm just going to rotate it if I can. Why does it keep locking in position? That's really annoying. 1 second, let me rearrange things. And here we are with a nearly completed station. And I'll just pop in the final few pieces, and then I'll just show you around. It won't be terribly great, but it will get the job done to start with. And there we go. That's the final piece. I'm just going to confirm that just so I've saved everything, and then let's just go back in. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the containers at the front, right next to the dock. Then we've got water production. That's on top. Then left and right of a four-way split is energy cell production and wheat production. Wheat just happens to be the one that doesn't attach on top of modules, it attaches at the side. As far as I know, there is no way to rotate vertically, i.e. up and down, so I can't just align them in any direction. That'd be nice if that was available. If anyone knows, certainly shift right click, control right click, alt right click just doesn't work. So I've tried a few of those things, and I'll continue to try, but as far as I know, it isn't actually there. And meat production is on top, so that needs another top slot. Then we've got spice production next to it, and then we've got food ration production. And lastly, a biome, because we need a workforce to actually do this. And you can see all this stuff on the right-hand side of my screen. It all just snaps together really quite easily. You just need to follow the diagram of what you need. That said, it needs 9.4 million to complete. Now that's not too bad, because we can just keep funneling funds to it, and it will just work its way down this list as fast as it can do, and NPC traders will buy from it. However, on the other side, here there's a logical station overview. This is sort of a diagrammatic view of what we've got. So it's basically saying we're going to need energy cells. That's going to be needed for water and also for all of the other things. So meat, wheat, and spices. Fair enough. And then further down, it's also needed for food rations. So our final product is food rations at the end of this chain. And further up the chain, of course, we're going to need ice to input for water to feed the other side of this. Okay, so it's quite nice. And each, if you fall these down, it will let you select various options. Now, I haven't done this for now, but one thing here is that we could restrict trade. If I take this box, we can just feed it from our other factory. So we can feed energy cells from there, and it won't buy from just anyone. However, to get started, I'm not going to worry about that. And then, of course, we can do the same thing with all the other things. We could buy water directly, but we have an entire production chain here, so it will get down to food rations at the end, and then we can create seller offers, etc. But we will be able to assign a trader, and I think I already have. Yeah, so right here, they may not be able to do anything right now because the modules aren't built yet, but I've assigned a miner and a trader. The miner is set to mine for that station, the trader is set to trade for the station, and of course, once they have goods and or places to go mine and then bring stuff back, well, they can start doing their work, hopefully. So let's actually just change the information for this, and let's change its name across to its final name. I guess food ration complex I or 1. Let's use 1, and that will do. Food ration complex 1. We can shut that away, and that will continue to start making stuff as long as we feed it credits. And then we're back up to 1 million now. We've got 1.3 million coming in, so we may as well just feed it some credits. Easiest way again is over in this plan build menu. You can just decide here, I want to pass it, let's say 1 million credits, and let it start buying stuff, and we keep on doing that. And you'll see down here in our logbook that Mercury Vanguard that we had doing the trading for the other station sold 550 energy cells to a high-tech factory. It only sold for 6,700, but you get the idea. That's already started up, and that again will be passive. Of course, that player HQ is huge, and we've only put 1 production module on there right now. We'll see just how well it the meat factory sells, and if necessary, we'll connect the HQ to the meat factory to supply its energy cells and keep it going. So, that's all there. And of course, eventually maybe this Nividium will actually run out, or there won't be enough demand for us to continue mining it like this. The economy will take over once the war takes over, and lots of stuff will be in demand anyway. So don't worry too much about that. That's something for later. We're back up to 2 million credits, of course. So while I'm back here in this office, I guess we could go and have a quick chat. and see if there's any modules we might like, or otherwise we'll just feed it straight to our food ration complex. Larger habitats, fair enough. Let's check on the habitat on the player HQ fairly soon. Hull part production, that'll probably kick in with the war. That's 4.5 million though, so as when we get up there. I think all the rest of the stuff, maybe silicon wafers. Yeah, those both look like we should buy the blueprints. Not necessarily the coolant, but it's cheap anyway, so we may as well buy it. Silicon wafers are part of the tech production chain. Now, just like I've done the food ration chain, there's an entirely equivalent one with lots more complexity to it. You see all these other production modules, like things like missile components that eventually make missiles and everything else, and it works backwards through a whole chain. Is there anything else cheap in here? Yeah, let's just buy the cheap stuff, including all the sort of connection blocks. Is there anything else cheap? I don't think it counts that much. You and you. Yeah. Confirm those. And we bought a whole bunch of structures. Of course, once I get enough reputation, which I don't think I'm actually up there enough yet. Reputation. Yes. So we're nearly 20 with Argon Federation. When you hit 20, you can get to the capital ships. You can buy them. Now, we'll have a look at those in a second. Hatikva Free League, we're at +7. Nisha Finance +5. Taladi, we're at +6. So, yeah, we are gaining reputation with those. And just speaking about the capital ships, if we go over to the shipyard, which we haven't really looked at too much, but buy ships. And in the large category, we have freighters, miners. Yeah, the Magnetar is the miner. Yep, it's huge by comparison. There is a dock on this thing. It's I think it's behind. Oh, I can never remember where it is. I think it's on top. Yeah, you see those sort of spaces there? They're filled with actual docking areas. So it's quite small, and you can land your ship on that. And the ship itself is huge. Yep, Vanguard miner. And freighters. Well, freighters, yes. What size? We can't buy the destroyer. That'll be the capital ship license we need. We can buy the rest, but we need the destroyer, which is the large combat ship. And then in extra large, well, we currently have a carrier, which needs a capital ship license. We can have a look at it. That looks cool. I may want a carrier at some point. It's only 10 million. We can afford it. Maybe double that to equip it. But then we can buy our own builder if we want to. I don't see the need to buy our own builder. There all seems to be one available. So maybe just for the sake of it, I guess. But definitely, I want to look at the carrier. And probably first, how much is the destroyer? The destroyer is 5 million. That's actually not too bad again. So actually docking it may be a problem. But other than that, it's fine. So, yeah, we're getting to the point in our credits where we can actually buy things like that. Anyway, that seems to be about it. What else did I want to cover? Oh, yeah, just seeing how the habitat actually has improved on our home base. So if we go to logical mode, yeah, our workforce is starting to fill up. So we've got 53, we started with 10. The more of those, the better, of course. And that will presumably help production of energy cells. Efficiency, 104%. It starts at 100 due to the workforce. So it'd be nice if they build up to 260. Anyway, our trader also gets them food, so we've got plenty of stuff for them. Yep, we've got medical supplies, and if we scroll down, we've got food. Cool. And before I sign off for this episode, I just wanted to gather some feedback from you. What have you made with your player HQ? Other than an obstacle for ships to fly into the middle, we could just continue to build this up. We've already started to get other production modules. I think it'd be quite nice to have this as sort of a defense or even offense platform where we are actually making more tech stuff. We've got the credits, the energy cells production here already. And if you continue that vein, we've got 1, 2, 3 other attachment points, and on the hull as well, on the dock as well, if we wanted to extend that from the dock, or the main dock over there. And we may be able to get the entire production chain over here. Not sure. If you've already done it, feel free to share it with everyone else below in the comments. Otherwise, if you like the episode, feel free to give it a thumbs up. I know it's been a bit of a talky episode with lots of stuff going on about station building, but hopefully it's helped you through any difficulties you have with the station. And next episode, we'll be back to the more combat and mission type of stuff. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more X4.